I'm about to be suited up head to toe. I'm almost there now. I've got to get my gloves and I've got to get my veil. And guys, this is the first time I have ever worn a bee suit in over 13 years. Today we've got a very interesting episode that we're going to show you, and this is the B4. We've got a little situation here that we need to address. We've got some bald-faced hornets that have moved into one of our flowering cherry trees right next to the house, and I got to remove them. At first I was thinking, you know, they're not bothering anybody, so let's just leave them alone, and if they're not bothering us, we don't bother them, everybody's just going to get along fine. Well, one day I came out while it was still dark, and I turned on the outside light, and hornets just poured out of this nest and they attacked the light, and a few of them have been near the dogs. So what I thought I might want to do is remove it from being close to the house. So that's the plan today, is to take down the hornet nest, and I'm going to be using a shop vac, and I'm going to try to vacuum the flying ones out and put those in the shop vac and just relocate the nest somewhere. That's the plan, guys, so let's hope that everything goes smooth. I have only worn a veil doing beekeeping. This is obviously nowhere near what beekeeping is all about. These hornets are pretty aggressive. I did do some research on them. They have benefits, but it's better if you don't have them right next to your house. So that's why today we're going to take them down. So you guys have endured some of my boring videos. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more lively and interesting without too much craziness going on. So hopefully we can get those removed and safely relocate the nest somewhere else. And you know, they do have some benefits, these bald-faced hornets. They do eat a lot of caterpillars, and if you're a gardener, they're really good at removing a lot of pests that will infest your garden. So for that reason, I really don't want to destroy the nest, so I'm going to do everything I can to just vacuum the hornets that are flying back and forth, and then we're going to relocate the nest, hopefully somewhere towards the edge of the property where no one will bother it, and they can do their thing and they'll be beneficial to the environment in the area. So let's get to it. So first things first, I had to trim several branches, and you can see this is a very high-tech operation with the duct tape on the vacuum, and I even duct taped the vacuum hose to one of my camera tripods. So very high-tech, as you can see, with the suit and all. The main thing is you have to just keep yourself from getting stung. Here's a close-up view. So what I did was I just put the shop vac right at the bottom entrance where they come and go. And every time you bump that nest, there's a bunch of them that'll come out. Now, the hornet's nest, from what I hear, and this is based on my observation too, there's only about 1 to 400 or 500 at the most. It's not like a honeybee colony where there's thousands. Hornets, there's usually, you know, in the hundreds. So if that's any consolation. The thing about hornets, though, is they can sting repeatedly. So I guess that makes up the difference. So you just keep that vacuum right at the entrance, and you can kind of nudge that nest, or you can kind of bump into it. And every time you do, more hornets come out. So there was a few times where I had to step away and just get away from them, because they were starting to sting my suit. None of them got through to me, though. Anyway, here's a good way to get them excited. Just bang on that a few times, and they start coming out again. We got the majority of them, I think. So I'm going to keep this vacuum going for just a little while longer, and see if we can get the returning foragers, and then we'll relocate the nest. I've trimmed all the branches except for the one main branch that it's still connected to. So I imagine if I have to saw or cut that with my cutters, Any more vibration that happens to the nest is going to drive more of them out. So we'll be vacuuming them as they come out. So there you go. All you have to do is just keep that shop vac at the entrance for about a solid hour. And unfortunately, the ones that do get sucked into the vacuum, they do die. The good news is you know, they still will survive as a colony. You just relocate them, and they will get back up on their feet. And I've got some video at the end of the clip here that you'll see 2 weeks later that they're still doing just fine. All right, let's see if we can cut that main branch and relocate these guys somewhere where they won't be too close to people or dogs or cats or any of that good stuff. Man, did I get in trouble for hacking that tree up though with my wife. So guys, if you get entrusted with this honor of removing hornets from your yard, make sure you do a good job at trimming up the bushes or trees or wherever they're hanging out. Ooh, there she is. That's a beach ball right there. All right, there she is. Now there could still be larvae inside and the queen. It's pretty well intact. So here it is from a couple other angles. She's a beauty though. Isn't that cool how they make them things? So, you know, I'm a friend of the honeybee, but I also appreciate the fact that we need hornets and wasps to balance out the ecosystem. So all we want to do is just remove them from where people are going to frequent, which is right next to the house, right where my wife and kids and myself, we go in, and this will be a better arrangement for them. So let's go ahead and relocate this nest. That way the larvae that are still in there and the queen, they can hatch out and do what they do best, and that is to keep the environment in check. Man, I'll tell you what, it sure is good to get this off, because it is hot. This is hot today. All right, so we got them up into a new tree further away from the house. Hopefully they'll be able to do what they got to do as far as keeping the ecosystem in check. This episode was not about beekeeping, but it was more about appreciating other insects and their role in the environment. So hopefully they're off to a good start into their new location. And my hat's off to the Hornet King, because without his videos I wouldn't have been able to know where to start. I've seen some really crazy stuff done with hornets and wasps, like people trying to light them on fire at night and it just being a total disaster. So they got stung. Sometimes, you know, and I didn't want to light this on fire right next to the house because, well, of course I don't want my house to catch on fire. So I had to think smart, and thank goodness for folks that share their knowledge. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Enjoy Beekeeping. If you ever have an instance of bulb-faced hornets, maybe this video will help you. So if so, give it a thumbs up and a like. And I'd like to hear any comments you have. If there's something I should have done differently, by all means let me know, because that's my goal, is to always do better, learn from mistakes, and try not to do them again. So enjoy beekeeping, friends. We'll see you at the next video.